What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, what caused all of this volatility, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO did go down 1.78%, 711 the low, 754 the high. So today was a perfect day trader's dream. Nice V-shape kind of push lower, then regrettably it did get dragged down with the broader market. That's been kind of my complaint with NIO for a while now, is a lot of the recent price action has been kind of at the mercy of algorithmic trading. So today we did see a lot of volume, so 68.9 million shares being traded, but only around 6 transactions on the secondary market. 50-50, half buying, half selling. You can kind of look at the timestamps right here. So some of the institutions were simply just playing with the technicals, kind of making money there and whatever else. Dark pool, we didn't really see too much in transactions above $100,000. Dark pool is often enough used by shorts. So shorts did increase 732,000 shares today, 10.54% of the free float's being shorted. So as you can kind of see, there wasn't really that much volume coming from institutions. So most of that was coming from algorithmic trading. So rather interesting stuff. Today, there wasn't any news, no SEC filings, no upcoming earnings announced yet. I do see some articles kind of talking about NIO's already, I guess, unannounced earnings yet. And a lot of different brokers use and have different dates right now, so such as even Seeking Alpha has November the 14th. I'm sure a lot of viewers show different dates as well, but most likely it will be in the next 2 weeks, and in my opinion, NIO will announce that tomorrow. That's just my guess. But historically, every time NIO does announce it, it causes a certain level of FOMO, because right now there's currently 3.13 billion. That's what the estimated revenue is, and that's the consensus from analysts. 3 positive and 1 negative revisions to the earnings per share over the last 90 days. So analysts are actually very optimistic about this earnings. So that could potentially be the next big catalyst. One thing that did come out that I find very interesting, and that was this right here. So it looks like there was a swap station that was kind of Coca-Cola themed. I don't know if this is a official partnership or not, but a lot of people on social media really bringing this up as something kind of positive. So again, I don't know if this was a official partnership or if it was just more of a good FYI type of thing. But yeah, this is kind of cool if you think about it. So I don't really see Coca-Cola really doing much with any EV out there or any company with that point. So nonetheless, I see this as a pretty good thing. Not really a good reason to buy NIO nor really sell, but it still kind of shows that there's some interest from other institutions in regards to what NIO is actually doing. Aside from that though, like I said, shorts did increase. One thing I do want to bring up here though is cost to borrow minimum is negative. So it is negative 0.05. So that does mean that there's brokers out there physically paying people to short NIO. So NIO shorts have really returned quite a lot over the last several months. So maybe there's some brokers out there trying to drum up some business. So it's I feel like there's no coincidence that the last couple of trading days shorts have been increasing. So maybe that's kind of what is causing it. Nonetheless, cost to borrow average is only at 0.26, so it's nothing too crazy. Looking at the options, we had 12 million in calls, 1.5 in puts, and then 44% of all the options being done today were bullish in nature. And so that's always good to see. But one thing as well, even from unusual whales, it does show November the 19th as the earnings date. And currently, based on the estimates from, I guess, the options, 10.7% is the expected move. So that works out to be a 77-cent move in either direction is on the table. So anticipate a lot of volatility, but I guess in comparison to other earnings, it's rather timid if you kind of think about it. But nonetheless, from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be still between that 750 and 8 by the end of business day tomorrow. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 750. So another day that you have even the bears feeling like there's more upside, which is rather interesting, again, just based on the price action. With today being Thursday, tomorrow Friday, this is the open interest. So you have 3,000 at that 650, 11,000 at that 7, 34,000 750, and then 29,000 at the 8. So just keep that in mind. Let's say NIO does get close to that 750 or maybe even 8 by the end of day tomorrow. you might have shorts wake up a little bit just to artificially suppress it. With it closing at 716, right below this pivot point. So 718 will be that key point to get over early on tomorrow if you're going to see a nice recovery. And then 785 is going to be the next on target / resistance. On the actual chart, actually I do have this. So this is the options, the unusual options. So feel free, you can look at the premiums, pause it. But you do see from here, it looks like November 25th, 2025, a call that was sold at 850. And then also December the 19th, there was a $9 call that was sold. It's really hard to have some context here because this could just be kind of hedging, could be a covered call. They just trying to get some premiums coming in. There could be a lot of different attributing factors. And you can see from the timestamp, it is fair to assume that both of those were the same entity. The other ones are all bullish. So you had a $10 call, $6 call, and $8 call. So feel free to pause the video and look at the kind of expiry date and a lot of the other good information. Aside from that, on the actual chart, it did bounce off of that 10-day moving average. So I know the broader market kind of sucks. A lot of people not really happy that NIO is still in the 7s and expecting it to be higher, but NIO's doing fairly well given the circumstances. So it has been holding that 10-day moving average. Potentially, we do also have that 50-day moving average that's sitting at 696. And the last couple of times that has been tested, it's been bounced off of. So we do know that's a pretty strong support level. So just keep that in mind. Looking at the market position though, for today, you see still a lot of good willing buyers, more associated to around that 689 to about that where we are now at that like 715. So a lot of good willing buyers, but the market sucked today. It wasn't just NIO that went down. NIO surprisingly did do fairly well given the circumstances and I guess lack of operational news, but still NIO got dragged down with the market. One thing to take note of though, stochastic RSI is at about 59, so a little bit neutral, and so it's not really considered overbought nor oversold, so that's kind of a good thing. So let me know your viewpoint on NIO. I wish that there was more to kind of talk about. Once we do get their earnings announced, then I'll do more of a deeper dive into some true expectations, what Wall Street's really going to be paying attention to, and some of what analysts are truly feeling, such as this, the negative 23 cents for the earnings per share. That works out to be 33.24% year-over-year growth. Even looking at the revenue, this is exactly what you want to see in a good growth stock. Solid double-digit and potentially even in some cases triple-digit year-over-year growth. So for Q1 2026, currently it's estimated to be about $2.1 to $4.4 billion in revenue. And so the average is 3.49. That works out to be 108.7% year-over-year growth. This is exactly what you want to look for in a investment. My own opinion, you guys do whatever floats your boat or whatever else, but let me know your thoughts on NIO. One final thing, I did always have a Patreon, but I recently started with Stacked. I did announce this in my video yesterday, so only for about another 12 more hours up until midnight on Thursday, you can sign up for only $1. And so this gives you buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. So if you've been always kind of thinking about joining the Patreon, now it is only $1 a month. So sign up for this. The promo will be ending in, like I said, around about 12 hours or less. So sign up for that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.